Hello, everyone. My name is Pavel Matveev. I'm co-CEO and co-founder of Wirex. And today we'll be talking about Web3, DeFi, digital economy, and we will be talking about a case study for fintech, so how fintech company can transition to Web3 and why any company would consider transition to Web3. So a structured presentation in kind of two parts. So the first part will be more kind of a summary where we are right now with Web3, with DeFi, with NFT, with stablecoins, with all these buzzwords. And the second part is more practical. I will share Wirex case study or example on how we as a company and crypto-native company transition to Web3 company. We're not completed this transition, but we're in the process of this transition. So this is something you won't be able to find on the internet, so it might be interesting. Just before I go there, I'll introduce my company. Maybe not everyone familiar with Wirex. So Wirex has been in crypto space for quite some time. Wirex is a crypto-native banking app. We have 5 million customers around the globe. We have 400 employees in the company. We accumulated a lot of awards during our time in the industry. Well, 7 years in crypto industry probably feels like 20 years in tech or in traditional industries. We also the only crypto native company which is a principal member of Visa MasterCard, which is quite unique for crypto company. All right. Just briefly, we'll describe what we're doing so you understand my angle and where I'm coming from when I'm talk about Web3 and digital economy. So Wirex is, as I mentioned, crypto-native banking app. But what it actually means. So Wirex idea is that we combine traditional currency, it's called fiat currency, and digital currency, the cryptocurrency, in one app, so people can send, receive. Can exchange in any combination possible, can use DeFi, can use staking, can use crypto-backed loans, a lot of stuff. So everything in one app. We do a lot of focus on usability, so we're focusing on mass market. We're not focusing on DeFi degens, but mass market is our target audience. And we issue cards in 3 regions. So basically the idea is that the card provide you access to 40 million merchants around the globe, and you can use your digital assets everywhere. Because one of the Web3 or DeFi problems is that you can't really use the assets or digital tokens in everyday life, and we solve this problem by integrating into payment schemes. All right, so first part, beginning of the first part. Let's talk about Web3. Where is this Web3 is coming from, right? There's probably Web 1 and Web 2, but what it actually means. So, and if you think about this, Web 1 and Web 2, yes, you're right, Web 1 and Web 2. So the modern internet, as we know it right now, had like 3 phases or 3 eras. The first 2 took around 15 years, and everything started in 1990. The first phase was all about open protocols, HTML as a language, HTTP as a protocol, TCP/IP, all these sort of things. And the key feature of this era is that the focus was on users and builders. Well, builders back in the days were people who just developed websites. This, how the industry was growing. And also, a lot of people call this as a .com boom. So a lot of websites, everyone can create their own website. So a lot of focus on builders and open protocols. The second era of Web 2, it's where we are right now. Because these eras of phases, they're transitioning. It's not like, this is the 1st of January, the first phase is over, the second phase started. No, it's evolution, it's transition. So the phase number 2, where we are right now, the key feature of this phase is that it's actually centralized. It's centralized around the big corporation, Google, Microsoft, Facebook. We all use Instagram, Facebook, all the messengers. They basically run by a few mega corporations, right? So the control for information and control of your data, which is very important, is centralized. So you don't pay for the product, but you are a product, right? Your data is a product. And Web3, so the main idea of a Web3 is that it will combine with, benefits of first and second phases and remove centralization. Give data back to the users, and users can monetize this. So the idea of Web3 is that it is decentralized, and users own the data. Okay. Why free matters? What's the point? Maybe we just can keep in Web 2. Facebook's quite convenient. Instagram's quite cool. TikTok even cooler. Everyone's happy. But there are more than two. But there are two fundamental issues with the current internet. So one is government control. I've got this Chinese flag over here, but the firewall or government control exists in every country. In every country, it exists. In some countries, there are less focus in the media on these controls, but the control on what information you have access to exists everywhere. China, maybe it's just extreme example. And the second problem is data. So data, when you use Google, Facebook, all these companies, data doesn't belong to you. Data got monetized by all the big corporations. And these two fundamental problems. So this is a very good slide, which basically illustrates the differences. So Web 1 was about reading data. So you read website. This was the kind of the main use case. The second, Web 2, is about interaction. So you can read data, you can write data, you can post content on Instagram, I don't know, Twitch, TikTok, whatever platform. It's interaction, read and write. And the Web 3 is about, there is a third element, it's about data ownership. So in Web 3, you have all the benefits of, good interaction, good user experience of Web 2, but the idea of Web 3 is that data belongs to users. And it kind of leads to the next slide, is it's a value distribution. So you can see top right corner, this is how value distributed right now. I think it's quite popular trend for a lot of people right now to have popular Instagram profile and grow a number of followers, because there is the idea that people can monetize it in the future. There are a lot of Twitch streamers who monetize their data. A lot of examples like that. TikTok users, influencers, these sort of things. But if you think about value distribution, so users and creators or influencers, you can see how much value they've actually getting. So most of the value is still going to corporations and the company or investors who invested in these corporations. The idea of Web3 is because we remove this centralization and putting data back to the users, this value or monetization will be distributed more evenly. So it's cool for users and users. It's still good for builders, and it's very good for creatives and people providing content, because there is just more ways to monetize the data. So let's talk about. So I was talking about Web3, but Web3, this is as I explained, this is a next phase in modern internet evolution. So DeFi is a subset of Web3, and let's talk about the state of the industry. So reality right now is that there are just so many blockchains. A lot of them, some of them a bit older, more popular, some of them less popular. I think even today we heard a couple of blockchains pitching their own ideas. They might be newcomers, they probably still need to survive the bear market and get traction. But reality right now is that there are just a lot of blockchains. Some of them started as L1 blockchain competitor to Ethereum. Some of them started as layer 2 like scaling solution for Ethereum, but they all trying to get traction. And the previous bull market happened a lot with this traction, but I think it's still, we will still see who will survive this bear market. You can see a couple of examples here, but don't let numbers confuse you in terms of the number of transactions and the number of wallets. Ethereum is still the king, and most of the money is still on Ethereum. So this is how DeFi growing. So you can see, so the numbers is a bit outdated because the market dropped, so you can't see the drop. But the idea is that DeFi space and TVL, which is one of the key metrics, total value locked in DeFi, was growing very, very fast and reached 100 billion at some point. There are many use cases for DeFi, especially when it's come to financial services. It's a remittance, it's digital payments, it's bank accounts. We still have a huge population in the world which is unbanked. So DeFi, by definition, is basically just a wallet. The only thing you need is just the internet or mobile phone, and you have a bank account, right? Not a bank account, but a wallet. Digital payments and remittance, two other big areas. When I talk about DeFi and financial services, I can't really skip the topic of stablecoins. So DeFi can't really exist on its own. You can't really create multiple tokens and just let them be, because you still need to be integrated into traditional ecosystem, traditional network. So the way how DeFi as ecosystem does it is via stablecoins. So there are three types of stablecoins: fiat-backed stablecoins, over collateral stablecoins like DAI or NextUSD, and algo stablecoins. For people who are familiar with cryptocurrency, probably when you hear algo stablecoins, you get a bit nervous, but UST or Terra Luna, which collapsed in a couple of days, was an algo stablecoin. I think it's still a concept which should be proven. Stablecoins right now, again, you can see on the graph the growth trajectory. There are just more and more stablecoins issued every day, every month, and we will see I'm pretty sure we will see this trajectory going forward. But stablecoins is a key part of DeFi, and it's a key part of how DeFi integrated with traditional payment rails and banking rails. NFT is another part of DeFi. I wouldn't spend too much time on NFT because it's just broad topic. But basically there are 5 categories. So if you probably heard about NFT, I think the impression you might have is, okay, this is just the image on the internet. But in fact, NFT has a lot of potential in different industries. So there are 5, I'm pretty sure there are more than 5, but there are 5 main categories for NFT. Is profile pictures, as most of the users use it right now. There is a huge area, art and music, where creative people can monetize their art. The idea is that if you put your art or digital, your art in digital form, then you have basically entire world as a market. Gaming, in my personal view, gaming will be very huge industry very, very soon, because the market already exists. People already trading, skins, weapon skins, artifacts, all these sort of things in video gaming industry. I think it's just a matter of time when it will be in the form of NFT on a blockchain. Utility and virtual worlds. Virtual worlds a bit more futuristic use case, but it's quite cool as well. All right. Okay, I'm conscious about time. So DeFi challenges. So all this DeFi Web3 sounds cool, right? But why we're not using this? Well, there is a reason why. A couple of reasons. My first slide is actually not about challenge, but my first slide is to illustrate that every challenge is actually an opportunity for entrepreneurs, for developers, for businesses who considering migrating or transitioning to Web3. So there is challenges, that's correct, but there are a lot of opportunities as well. So the challenge number one is lack of user-friendly interfaces. So it should actually say lack of good user experience. So it's not about interface, but it's about user experience. Because in Web3 right now, it's not really ready for mass market, because you need to understand the concept like wallets, private keys, seed phrases. You need to have gas in your wallets. You need to move from one chain to another, use different protocols. It's just nightmare. It's not ready for mass market. So the lack of user experience right now, it's one of the challenges for mass market adoption. But I think this is quite easy challenge to solve. We will see that there are more and more companies working on in this area. Another, this is a quite interesting one. It might be not visible or not the challenge on the surface, but DeFi is highly fragmented. So I started. There was a slide about number of blockchains. So DeFi fragmented in a way that it exists. First of all, it exists on multiple blockchains. It's a first level of fragmentation. The second one, there are different protocols, and there is no really standard. So the lending and borrowing use cases in DeFi are the most popular use cases, but there is still no standard for this interaction. There is a new ERC 4626 standard, but most protocols haven't really adopted it yet. So DeFi is very fragmented, different blockchains, different protocols. There is no standards at this point of time, and the interaction between protocols it's challenging. So that's why you have liquidity. Liquidity means money sitting on one protocol, on one blockchain, and it takes time to move it to another blockchain, to another protocol, and by the time you moved it, maybe your use case is not relevant anymore. All right, let's move on. So let's talk. I started talking about Wirex as a crypto-native banking app, and last year, around November, December, we decided that we always were thinking about ourselves as a crypto-native compared to traditional banks or compared to companies like Revolut or PayPal, because crypto for us is a core expertise. We offer fully featured crypto wallets, but Web3 is not about crypto. It's just a different approach and different paradigm. And last year, we as a company sat down and decided, okay, we need Web3 strategy. So how we as a fintech would embrace Web3. And I'd like to share a couple of practical examples which might be relevant.
Somebody else. Let's try this one.
It's on me.
Test. Oh, okay. Okay, it's on. Cool. So look, the first row is how Wirex product line looked before 2022, basically last year. So we were a crypto-native challenger bank, available in 3 regions. We have a card, we have crypto wallets, we have bank accounts, easy exchange, easy conversion, easy spend, super cool. So what we decided is that, okay, we need to leverage Web3 capabilities, and this is how the second line is how our product line looks right now. And I'll just go through these examples. So our first strategy was that, okay, so DeFi and mass market right now, it's just not going to work. So we need to find a way to still leverage DeFi, but at the same time provide the value to our users. So there are two values we were focusing on. One is a high APR or high interest. So you can get a much higher interest on your funds right now in DeFi compared to your to your traditional fintech app or traditional bank. And the second was access to liquidity for our lending products. So what we decided to do, we created a product, it's called high yield product or X accounts. So basically, we designed it in a way that it's very user-friendly. It's for average Bob, for mass market. You can just put your money, and we do all the work on the back end. So we allocate these funds in DeFi, and we just offer you very attractive interest rate on your funds. So that was one example. And the second example is crypto-backed loans. Again, if you're familiar with crypto, when there is a bear market, right, there is a cycles. There is a bull market and there is a bear market. And these cycles goes every 3 years, 4 years. During bear market, people don't like to sell crypto because, well, what's the point to sell crypto? What's the point to sell Bitcoin at 20K if I bought it at 60K? So that's why crypto-backed loans is getting very popular. So crypto-backed loans is when you use your crypto as a collateral. That's the idea. So we use DeFi to source liquidity for this product as well. But it's a very similar idea. We use DeFi on the back end. For end users, it's very kind of, challenge bank experience. So they don't see back end and DeFi interaction. So the strategy number 2 is regarding access DeFi. Again, if you're familiar with DeFi and crypto and you use wallets like MetaMask or Coinbase wallet or very similar wallets, I think your journey starts with the seed phrase and the private key. And the thing you need to remember about seed phrase and private key, don't share it with anyone. Because once it's, you shared it or it's stolen, your money is gone. That's it. And this is actually the big problem for mass market. Because mass market don't really care about private keys. People forget, about security, passwords, and all these sort of things. If you forget your private key, well, your money is gone. So the way we decided to deal with this problem, we created a new product. It's called Wirex Wallet, where we use MPC as a technology. There were a couple of speakers previously in this audience talking about MPCs, multi-party computation. So basically, you take your private key and you divide it into different parts. And yeah, this part is encrypted separately. So if you lose your private keys, there is still, if you lose your part of your secret, there is a still way for you to, restore it. Long story short, it's very user-friendly. We use biometric as a way to encrypt your part of the secret. We don't ask you to keep your seed phrase, private key, everything else. But this is basically DeFi wallet for mass market. I guess, I don't know, guys, if you can see there is an antivirus screen. Maybe it's preventing me from clicking. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's working. So yeah, this is basically the summary, but this is one of the few MPC retail wallets. So MPC as a technology, it's very popular in enterprise space. And blockchain, the new blockchains use it for their needs. B2B business use MPC as well, but in retail space, it's not heavily used. And the first strategy we decided to use when it comes to DeFi is to partner with DeFi projects. So we as a company, we're a regulated financial institution. And for us, there are 400 people in the company. It's not a huge company, but it's not either a small company. For us, it's very difficult to move with the pace as DeFi developing. There's just so many things going on. So that's why we decided, okay, of course we can grow the expertise in-house and spend time and and money, but what if we just find the team we can trust and we can work with? And it's how we ended up investing and partnering with Nereus protocol. It's right now is a third lending platform on Avalanche. Avalanche is one of the top blockchains. And okay, my last slide, and it's related to partnering with DeFi projects. The Nereus is, as I mentioned, is a lending protocol on Avalanche, but they do a lot of innovative stuff which Wirex was never had time or resources or expertise to do. And one of them, they're launching world first native cross-chain NFTs. So DeFi fragmentation, when I started talking about that, multiple blockchains is a challenge to move funds from one to another. So the way to address it is to create native cross-chain tokens, and NFT as a token, it's one of the examples of this solution. All right. I think we have a couple of minutes for questions, if there are any.
Sure. Anybody have any questions? Any questions? This guy knows all about, he's the CEO of Wirex, so he's pretty cool. There he is. Okay, go for it.
Hi, Pavel. Thank you. Great presentation. Any challenges you will call out as part of that integration with is it Nereus, however you pronounce it? What are the top 2 challenges you face when partnering and integrating with them?
Because it's much smaller company, and it's quite common for DeFi projects being just a team of developers, and sometimes it might be challenging to work with developers. We have 5, 6 developers. I think that's one of the challenges for us, to coordinate with developers and maybe see where the protocol is going, and then see what kind of challenges they have. But it happens in any partnership. So yeah, I think the collaboration between 2 different types of companies is the main challenge for us.
Cool. Thank you.
So would you please again repeat, why are you integrated with this company? I mean, 10,000 randomly generated numbers or pictures. Where is the value?
So the company has around 35 million logged. So it's a lending and borrowing company on Avalanche. So the main business is lending and borrowing. But apart from that, we're using NFT in order to... So NFT in DeFi space uses a marketing tool. So it's not an end product. So NFT is a way to attract users and push brand awareness. So they don't make money on NFT. So it's not about integrating with NFT, it's about integrating with lending and borrowing side.
Thank you. So from what you explained, Web3 is about giving users and content creator ownership, but what is the incentive for businesses to give users ownership?
Well, there is no incentive for Facebook to give your data back to you. It's for sure. There are a lot of incentives for users and for creators to own the data, because then they can monetize it better. So the idea is that, let's say you're using TikTok and you've got your profile, or your Twitch streamer. So the only way for you to monetize your content is to work with a Twitch. So Twitch is the middleman. There is no any other way you can monetize the data. But the idea of the Web3 and the data ownership is that you can use your data. Data is yours. And you can monetize it at any platform you want, if there will be platforms. I think we need to understand it's still early days in Web3, right? What we have right now will be very different to what we have in a year, 2 years, and 3 years.
So in that case, I guess the challenge is to find builders that want to build those things to give ownership to users, right?
There are a lot of builders. It's just a matter of time.
Oh, okay.
It's just a matter of time. When internet started, everyone was saying internet just for porn, right? And here we are. So it will be the same with Web3. So a lot of people saying, well, Web3 is just for leverage, margin trading, farming, this sort of things. But this is just the beginning.
Thank you.